Hi everybody, this is the third and final video in our series on nursing research. I'm Jenny Mills, your health sciences and nursing librarian, and in this video I'm going to talk about Endnote Online, which is a free reference manager that you can use in order to organize all of the references that you have, and also it will help you to cite them when you're writing your paper in Microsoft Word. You can create a free Endnote Online account. It's free to anybody. And then you can export articles directly from the CINAHL database or our other databases as you're searching. You can export from Google Scholar and other places as well. You can share groups of articles within Endnote with a group, and as I said, that will help you format your citations. So I'm going to go to my Endnote Online account and show you what it looks like. If you just Google Endnote Online, you will get to the login page, and from here you can create your own free account. It's probably going to log me right in. Yep, because I already have an account, but there will be a link there when you get to that landing page that says create free account. So this is my Endnote library. I have almost 600 articles. Well, not all articles. Some of them are web pages and other things. In my library. I have lots of groups I've created for different projects. Some of those I've shared with other people. Let me just look at one of these groups. So here's a group of articles, mostly. Some of them are websites, like these first two are websites. This next one is an article, and you can see the journal title here when I added it to EndNote and so on. And another one there. So in order to view this, just click on it, and you can see that it organizes the reference information, the citation information. So this is a journal article. These are the authors, the title, year, the journal title, volume, and so on in these different fields. And so this is the beauty of it, that whenever you're want to cite this article later on in Microsoft Word, it can pull this information and format it for you really nicely. Now, one thing that it doesn't, this article does not have a PDF attached because I did not attach it, and that's something that you would have to do, an extra step. But I exported this article directly from a database, and it does have a link back to the article in the database where I found it, right there in the record. So that can be helpful. But this is everything that you would get whenever you would export an article from a database. Let me return to the list. So it's a great way to organize all of your sources, and then on the back end, when you're ready to write a paper, it has some great features as well. For example, if you hover over Format and click on Bibliography, you can select the references that you would like. I'll choose that same group, and then choose the format that you want it to be in. So I'm going to go to APA. There are a lot of formats from specific journals, so if you were going to publish something in this journal, you would just choose that. That's why there are so many. Oops. But there's also just the regular ones like APA, MLA, and so on and so on. So I'm going to scroll and scroll and scroll until I find, oops, and I went past it, APA, the latest 7th edition, and I'm going to select Rich Text File, and that will generate a bibliography of all of the references in that group for me in APA style. So if you just wanted to generate a bibliography on the fly, you could do that really easily. If you are in Microsoft Word, and if you have installed the Endnote plugin, which I have, and I have a little Endnote tab up here in my Microsoft Word program, as you're typing your paper, when you're ready to insert a citation from your Endnote library, you can click Insert Citation, and then search for the author that you're looking for, or part of the title, whatever it is that you want. So let's say this article I want to insert. Click on it, and it inserts the parenthetical citation and also starts the works cited list at the bottom. I have right now APA 6 selected. I could change that to APA 7th or something else that I wanted within my Microsoft Word. So that really is the beauty of it. If you submitted an article to a journal that required APA and then you wanted to submit it to something else that maybe required AMA or another style, you could just, if you had created your document this way, you could go in and just change it with a click of a button. So it really does have a lot of nice features to it. Okay, so let me close out of that. And here I am back to my Endnote library. So let's talk about how you would export something into this Endnote library. I'm going to go now to back to CINAHL, where we were searching in the previous video. And so let me just click on this first article. Okay, so there are some tools over here to the right in CINAHL. So where that you could, we talked about adding to the EBSCO folder. You could email this article to someone. There's a citation tool in CINAHL, so you could grab the citation in all of these different formats if you wanted. There's also an export tool. So if I click on this, it gives me options of how I want to export it. So you would select Direct Export to Endnote Web, because you're using the free Endnote Web or Endnote Online program. So if I click Save, it opens up a new browser window, and I'm already logged into Endnote, so it just imported it for me. One new record. If I go back to my references, so it is in this list somewhere, and it would also be in my unfiled list. I need to clean up my Endnote library quite a bit, but I could find it if I go to last updated or last added to the library, newest to oldest. Oh, and here it is, sleep quality in primary children. So that's what I just added. And so it adds all of the citation information for you so that you don't have to type that in, because that can be hard to do, especially when you have all these names. It adds the abstract, the keywords, the link back to the article in the CINAHL database. What it did not bring over is the PDF. And let me go back and see. There is a PDF here. So if you want to attach the PDF file, you would need to download it from CINAHL, save it to your computer, and then attach it with a paperclip as you would attach something to an email, and then you would have it together. Sometimes I attach it, sometimes I don't. I do download the articles, the PDFs, and put them in a folder on my computer that I name for the class or for the project that I'm working on. But I can also get back to it with this link. So the most important thing is that you get all the citation information, so that when you're ready to write your paper, you don't have to type this in. You can just pull it from Endnote. So exporting is pretty easy. Over here, the export tool. So you can export one article at a time, or if you add things to your folder, you can export multiple things at a time. So if I want to select these three, there's the export tool again. And again, you're going to select Direct Export to Endnote Web. And in this case, just click Save, and it will automatically export those to my Endnote library. You can also export things from Google Scholar. So in Google Scholar, you have these little quotes for cite, and it will format the citations for you as well. They're not great. Any citation generator, you always want to double check, whether even in our databases. But there also is a link down here for Endnote. So if you just click on that, it will export this directly into your Endnote library, just like from the database. So most databases have some sort of export tool that you can look for that works, pretty much the same way. Return to my list here. Okay, and so once you have something in the library, this is the one we just added, you can then organize it. So if you want to add this to a group, I already have a bunch of groups, but you could also create a new group, and then you can start organizing things in that way. Up here under Organize, you can click Manage My Groups, and this is where you can choose to share a group if you like. So this one I have already shared with some other people, but if I click Manage Sharing, then you can add more people to this group just by entering their email address. Of course, they have to have a free Endnote Online account as well, but then everybody can view the same folder. And then under Downloads is where you can find the link to add that Cite While You Write plugin to Microsoft Word. And so here are download links for Windows or for Mac. So that's how you can add that plugin. There's also a plugin that you can add to your Chrome or some other browsers as well. If you want to capture web pages, you can do that. And back on the nursing research guide, here we are, I have a tab for Endnote up at the top. So it goes over everything we just talked about. If you click on that tab, it opens up a whole new guide for Endnote. So what I've been showing you is Endnote Basic, or I've called it Endnote Online or Endnote Web. This is the free version. I think this is going to give you enough, everything that you're going to need just with this free version. So if you want to go here to this tab, it has a link to get to the login screen where you would create an account, has some basic training, and the little drop downs will remind you how to install the plugins, how to add references, how to export from databases, and so on and so on. I think this will give you everything you need. You do have the option as a graduate student to install Endnote Desktop on your computer, which will give you a few more bells and whistles. Sometimes it can be a little bit clunkier to use, but if you would like to install that, the installation link in the product key is in My Belmont, so you can just follow these instructions if you would like to do that. And as always, you can reach out to me if you have Endnote questions. I use it myself and have for a long time, so don't hesitate to ask. Hope these videos were helpful, and happy researching.